Yo. What's going on, guys? Wow. Broke a wing off, got shot down by Ministrel, killed by linebacker. Oh, man. Linebacker is the guy who Ralphie plays with, right? I think that's who that guy was. How long you got, Dut? You, I guess it's kind of late for you. It's about 11:30 out there. Just curious here. I could run through a few things. We could see how our operations differ slightly. Might as well do it on stream, you know? That's right, man. That's right, Bullet. That is right. 20 minutes. Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. I was gonna run through and like start this thing up, just see how it goes, and see just how it feels with the startup process and all that. So yeah, we could hop in voice. You want to do that? Let's do it. I would like to know how you fly Airbus. Yep, you're going to learn right now. You tell me where to go, Dut. Where you want to meet. In fact, I will send you an invite. Or you know what? Sorry. Just come here. See if it works. I gotta set up some Discord settings here. It's going real slow. Your Discord. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll hop in there. For some reason Discord's going ridiculously slow. Hello?
Yo, what's up?
Oh, hold on. Let me fix my Discord settings here. All right. You there?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. Got you.
What's up?
Is this the civilian channel?
Yeah. I didn't know what else to name it.
No, I got you. I was messing with you. Yeah, so I picked this thing up. Keep hearing good things about it, so we'll see how it goes.
Recently, didn't they?
I think I just yesterday or yeah, something like that. I saw some people saying that they updated the flare law in it, stuff like that. So
nice.
I'll have to give it a shot. But
Mr.
Lumber. Excuse me, sir. It's not 738 whiskey. Yeah, nope, no Boeing here. Yeah, so we'll check it out. Let's see here. So the first thing I noticed, like right when I hopped in, the textures are not. I don't feel like the lighting and the textures look as good as the flight factor. But
agreed.
I'm fine with that. Like it's really not that big of a deal. And this is actually kind of something strange, but immediately I look up at the aiders and the angle. Well, this is the old, like, what do you call it? The G-naders? Yeah. Or grenaders. I always call it grenaders. But the angle of the switches look kind of weird, but that might be right. We fly those so infrequently now, so. But.
Yeah. I don't know how many we have, but, I feel like we have about the same number of these as we do the 321s.
Yeah, how many you guys have 319 still?
Oh, yeah.
How many do you have?
Well, let me look that up.
Don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's all right.
I think we only have 5.
I mean, we have like 144 airplanes.
Yeah,
probably
okay, yeah, cool.
Roughly 20 to 30 of them are 319s. That's just
okay, cool.
I guess.
Yeah, we have 5 left. We've been selling them to. Oh, there's Lumber says there's an HD pit for it, so. Well, get on it, Lumber. Just kidding.
All right, according to Wikipedia, as of May, we have 31 in service.
31. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah. When I first
Cool.
started, we didn't have that many. And they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, we're gonna take them back and all that." But I mean, they just need airplanes.
Yeah. So, I mean, like when you first got when you first got on the bus, like, could you tell a difference between flying the 19, 20, and 21?
Mm, I mean, the 321, you always were afraid of the tail strike,
Yeah.
so I always felt like I don't know. I never really like landed it smoothly as I could, like the 320.
Uh huh.
But other than the fact that you know how it goes with the sharklets and slowing down and going down, that was really the only difference. In the 319, you could slam it, you know, especially the classic ones.
Yeah.
You could put it wherever you wanted, full speed brakes, you know, just drop that thing. But in the 321, like you had to be a little bit more ahead of the game.
Yeah.
It
You
was
had
a
to kind of
little
finesse.
less
You have to
forgiving.
finesse that thing a little more. Yeah. Yeah. I used to notice a difference, but I think what I chalked it up to was a difference in the springs and in the sticks. Like I would notice that like some of them were a little looser and some were a little tighter than others. And so, yeah, it would just the sensitivity would be a little different. And I thought it was a difference between the 1920s and 21s, but I think it was just more whether the plane was kind of older or newer. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
So I would always kind
Yeah.
of feel a sensitivity difference, and now I can't tell the difference at all. After
Even
having flown
like
it for a while. So
our really old 319s, you can tell instantly. You're like, oh my god, there's no resistance here. I mean,
yeah,
there is, but I'm exaggerating. But the resistance is a lot less in those than it is the newer ones.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, you guys still have your Neos, right? Or I heard maybe you
Mhm.
guys were having problems with them, and then but I don't
Yeah,
know
we
if
had
you
a few
guys got it fixed.
issues in the beginning, and it seems to kind of all work itself out.
Oh, okay, good.
We are the majority of the planes that we receive next year will be Neos. So I think I want to say we. Oh, well, okay. What did Wikipedia say? Wikipedia says we have 12 now, but we have 43 coming. So that's going to be, you know, next year and then beyond. We're going to have like the majority of them are going to be Neos. So we're going to have a lot more Neos coming up.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, those are gonna be good, man. Those are. I mean, I guess it's kind of bittersweet because like the engine starts to take so long on them.
Right.
But they're
I like them. They're people around here they kind of are like, I don't know, apprehensive of it because we've had a lot of issues in a couple different regimes, not just the engines. We've had other issues,
oh really okay.
but and it also kind of trips people up too. So they'll take it and they'll look at the fuel sheet and they'll say, "Oh my God, dispatch didn't give me it didn't give me enough fuel,"
Yeah.
and I think they're kind of uncomfortable because they're not used to seeing the fuel burn numbers in that airplane. So I think when we get more, it might change.
Okay. Yeah.
You also hear more noises because it's so quiet or so much more quiet.
Yeah. Like I mean, definitely when I first started flying the Neos, like my very first flight on a Neo was kind of funny because like we went out and taxied out in Orlando to 36 right, and there's like that big bump on Charlie. I don't know if you notice where that big bump is, but we hit a big bump, and right after that, we what did we get? Like at trying to remember, the engine was like surging, and this is like brand, it's a brand spanking new engine from
Hmm.
GE, and the engine started surging, and we're sitting there holding short of the runway, and we're like, well, no ECAMs are going off, so what do we do? And then finally an ECAM went off, and we're like, oh, good. Like now we have an excuse, to like go back to the gate. And so we actually ended
Right.
up calling maintenance on the taxiway, and they called GE directly, and they're like, yeah, go back to the gate because it was so new. They're like, yeah, like
Oh
go back
wow.
to the gate. And I wish I could remember what the issue was. I can't off the top of my head remember what the ECAM was or anything like that, but it had to do with something about it. Like when you tried to put it back to idle, it wouldn't sit at idle. Like it wouldn't go to idle, something like that. And the engine would
Nice.
look like it was surging. So yeah. Anyways,
I have a
yeah.
theory. Whenever you like advance the power levers, I have a theory that the high pressure relief door like opens or closes and you get like a high pitched whine noise.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, one of our crews wrote that up, but I hear it all the time, and I'm almost like I'm hoping I run into like an engineer that's like, yes, that's the
That's
high
this. Yeah.
bypass relief duct.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there was a memo. Actually, it's funny because that issue that we had, like they came out with a memo right after that because they're like, well, actually, you're okay to go take off with whatever this issue was, and I have to go back and look at it. And they ended up obviously fixing it. I'm sure with some software fix or whatever. But yeah, interesting. Yeah, for another thing I noticed, like just hopping in here and just kind of feeling around, sounds like two midgets bang on shit with a hammer. Okay. Number. So like you know how like they have the Airbus long press, like when you're starting the
It's like
APU and you hit the start button and it you got to hold it down
Mhm.
for a second, like that you don't get that feel on here. It's like you pretty much click it on and off. So
Is it instantaneous? Yeah.
yeah, it's instantaneous. So like, you know, I mean the startups I'm sure is fine, but I know in the FS Labs and the Flight Factor, like you kind of have to give it that long press on the mouse, and it does a pretty good job. So it just feels right. So say that again.
Same thing with the McDo. It seems like you have to like press, like when you're using the mouse to press the button. It seems like you have to really hold the button a little bit longer. You just can't click through really fast.
Yeah.
On the Flight Factor.
Yeah, the Flight Factor feels pretty good, and I think it's just going to be interesting to get used to this stuff. Why aren't you guys doing shared in the AFF? Yeah, we actually want to do that. We're going to do that. We just we weren't really planning this tonight. Yeah, we weren't really planning this tonight, so this has just happened. It just happened. Spontaneous.
It's in the planning stage for sure.
Yeah, but I haven't updated the IRAC on this thing either. So I already noticed some features are missing here in the data page. But
does this thing have ACARs on it?
I don't think so.
Dude, here's the thing with flight sims.
Yeah.
Like they have so many plugins. Like I've seen so many guys that do this, all the time, and they're like, the gateway's closing, and they got people in the back talking to them. And I'm like searching for all this shit. So I need that's why I'm glad Lumber is around, so he can help me like find these plugins.
Yep.
Because I'm ignorant to so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. There's so much to flight sim that like takes so long to set up. I was joking with Chris about this. Like most of the time you're spending just setting it up, and you're not actually going around and flying around and having fun in the sim. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this box is definitely different. Feels different. I don't know what XP plan is or what. Yeah. Why would you want to load an XP plan or what? But and I know that like certain boxes are different. Different Airbuses have different. Like we have like part Toliss boxes, and then we have most of the new ones are Honeywell. Have the Honeywell suite in it. Is that what you guys have?
We all have Honeywell. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, and I think like
we have anything other than that.
That's the only way. Like I heard that we took that suite because in order to have the good radar that we have at the new ones, that we had to take the whole package. Otherwise, we would have done a mix and match. Like we would have done the Toliss boxes, which are so much snappier, so much quicker. When you're, like when you're going down and like trying to clear everything once you come off the airway, and you're trying to go, you're getting vectored onto the approach. You go down and you try to clear everything. It's all on the Honeywell boxes. It takes forever, but on the Toliss boxes, it's just snappy and it's quick. So
yeah, so you guys have the radars where you can tune the path.
Yep.
And it shows you it can either show you the path or it can show you whether that's below that's X'd out.
Yes.
Or dashed out.
Yeah.
I love those radars.
Yeah, and I wish I knew what the model was, but I don't.
I gotta go. We also have this. We also have this as well on some of the older ones and the newer ones, by the way. So maybe I have to go look and see what our see if we have another FMS. But I've only seen information on Honeywell, so I'm assuming we only have Honeywell.
Oh, is that all you guys have? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, our older planes have the Toliss boxes, and then the older like these kind of radars that are here in the Toliss 319. So, yeah, I'd be interested to see how this thing works. And I don't know if this thing actually is operational in the sim yet, but I know that the Flight Factor just got that update.
Yep.
and that theirs works now. So it'd be cool to try that out, especially in shared, like to see how all that works in shared cockpit. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I haven't seen any weather with it, but it definitely works.
yeah. I haven't set up any of my views in here yet, so I'll definitely do that later. But I just wanted to hop in here and kind of try it out, and I was like, oh, I might as well try it on stream here, and then
Yeah, I was getting my ass kicked in Blue Flag, and I saw you start streaming. And I was like, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, nice, dude. Yeah, we just got back tonight, so. Oh yeah, this is the old Iraq. Yeah, we just got back or earlier in the evening. Just shuttled the kids around.
You guys drove back, right?
Yeah, drove back, and then kids had piano lessons and stuff like that. So finally got them to bed and try to do something productive here.
Nice.
I'm just gonna punch in a flight plan. I need to update the air rack. Do you have your Navigraph stuff updated and stuff?
Yeah.
All that? Cool.
Yeah, I bought the year.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, cool. Okay, yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah, this is just like the bare minimum that they've got going on here for
San Diego.
Yeah, let's see. Usually we do the Lucky Arrival, I think, out of Vegas. Yeah, we just announced a bunch of new routes. Oh, really? You guys do San Diego to Vegas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool.
It's funny, a fun man, one. We were taxiing out, and United took off, and I was like, oh, what are they doing with the gear still down? And I started chuckling, and then we started taxiing. Started number 2 because we were like number 4.
And
fucking brakes started heating up. I'm like,
oh,
I understand now why he was leaving his brakes down or his wheels down. And sure as shit, we take the runway, and we said, if we get the E-cam or whatever, we're just going to continue. We'll just leave the gear down.
Yeah.
Didn't get it re-rolled, rotated, and no shit, man, he called for it. And of course, they had us line up and wait for quite a while, clearing people off the runway. And sure enough, man, we ended up getting a hot break right when he told me to gear up. So I just
wow, crazy.
And then it cooled off, like seconds later, retracted.
Yeah, I've gotten that a few times. Oh, do you remember what the temp was when you took off?
It was like 290.
Oh,
it might
wow.
have been 295.
Because I've seen it at like a lot lower temperatures. I've seen that ECAM come off at like, I remember one time in the old 319, it went off at, like we were doing, I think it was 210 when we started rolling down the runway. And then it still went off after takeoff. And we're like, what? That's,
Jeez, you would think once you get started, that you wouldn't have that.
That's what I thought. Yeah, but I was, so now I'm kind of paranoid, but I think the newer airplanes have better brakes on them and maybe just different logic in the brake system with the temperatures. Like they're not gonna like freak out, if you're low 200s.
It might have been 270 or something like that, but it was definitely above 250.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm just curious because like I always want to kind of like, when you're not expecting it is always kind of the worst because you're like, wait, what are we doing? Like on takeoff when the ECAM goes off and then, oh, you got to leave the gear down. Okay, cool.
Ding.
One thing I'm kind of confused about is how to find your zero fuel weight and block. Well, I can find the block on here. That's pretty easy, 9.9. But the zero fuel weight in here, I thought someone had like a
you can't just,
iPad
you
in
can't
here.
just click it.
Oh, you know what?
You
it's
mean
probably.
black fuel?
Yeah, the block fuel is fine. I can figure that out. It's just I think it's in here. So they have like a ISCS, so the Interactive Simulation Control System. And so there's got to be some information here that they've got. So zero fuel weight CG is 29.7, zero fuel weight of 60.5. Okay. So it's just in that little box there. Definitely feels different. I mean, it's not, doesn't feel as snappy as the flight factor, but at the same time, it's like, it might just be what I'm used to.
Can you switch the units on this one yet?
No, that's the problem on this one or the flight factor.
Yeah, I'm getting really good at kilograms.
Oh, it's annoying though. It's so annoying.
Tons, I guess.
It's like, come on, dude. So this is where the FS Labs just kind of like dwarfs all this stuff. The problem is the sim that it's in.
Yeah.
I don't like playing with P3D as much. Let's see here. What were we looking at? we're trying to get. Yeah, I don't see anything in here about changing.
You're
Oh,
looking for
default
DFB
baro
too, right?
unit. Okay, I can change the default baro unit. Sync baro settings. No, we don't want that. Use new flare law. That's fine. XPDR compatibility mode. Nope. Yeah, I don't see anything about changing the units. It seems like that could be a pretty easy thing to do. But and we're not programmers, so
Right.
typical pilot thing to just go complain about stuff, Yeah. All right, we'll go back in here. So loaded that up. You guys use diffripsa for loading the box?
Yeah, disrip. We call it disrips.
Oh, disrips. Okay.
Disrip. I don't
We
know
do
about what's the A at the end of the disrip.
ACARS.
Oh, okay, ACARs. Yeah,
Yeah,
we don't
probably.
even
Maybe.
we don't even like train ACARs. You'll do that on OE.
Yeah. I'm sure your sims don't have. Yeah, you're just plugging in numbers manually
Yeah.
from the paperwork. So yeah. So let's see here how you put in the performance. So that's my question too. Like, how do you in this one? How does the performance work? Because in the Flight Factory, you got that tablet. So I don't know if they've got some performance here that I can mess with. Try aircraft page. Maybe aircraft page in the ISCS, like in this blue menu number. Let's see here.
Oh, you're running 1332.
Is this the old one?
I mean, it may not matter, but I just kind of happened to see that.
Oh yeah, 1.3.2. I'll probably have to I'll have to update it to the new one. So
Oh, that's cool. You can do a quick line on the ADIRs.
yeah, that's nice. ADIRS quick align. Cool. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so I want to because the FS Labs you can just do this, and it'll automatically populate your V speeds according to whatever weights you're currently at.
Yeah, that's nice. It won't do V1, but it definitely will do the other two.
I'm just gonna.
I put V1 right next to the same as VR.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put them all the same. Just make them up for now. Hot day flaps 1. I don't know. I'll just up 1.0. Oh, go ahead.
What is your dispatching? Do you use any of that?
Like on the sim.
The third party website for free that you can go on.
Oh no, what is that?
Lumber, remind me.
SimBrief
dispatcher. SimBrief, possibly.
See, look at this.
Yes,
Idiot.
SimBrief.
Oh, secondary.
Do you use that?
No, I haven't. I haven't touched any of those yet. So me and Uberbot, like we got in and did share cockpit in Aerosoft like a few years ago, and he had some software that was really nice that he pays for, or that he paid for or whatever, and we got in there, and yeah, he was able to get all the numbers and the V speeds and everything according to however we set it up, but yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Do you
Sure.
guys set trimmable the horizontal stabilizer? Do you guys set that for reference, or do you set the other number?
So we set it according to the THS right here. So up 1.0. If it says 1.0, we'll set it to up 1.0 according to this.
Okay.
So, and the other thing, because I know that I think United does it according to the CG, right? Or the other one. Can't think of what it is.
No, you're right. Yeah, inches.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, because it's just on the other.
Yeah,
the other axis,
on the other side.
CG.
It's the CG.
Yeah. So United does that. I know that. But yeah, we don't do that. We do it according to the actual like THS setting.
All right, Mr. Captain. I gotta put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
See how you would react to this. You
get
to the plane. You get to the plane in Columbus, and it's your birthday. So happy birthday! You get to the plane in Columbus, and you find out it's 320. You find out that cargo bin 1 is deferred.
Okay.
There's a lot of other shit going on, but we'll just focus on focus on this particular thing. You're going from Columbus down to Fort Lauderdale, and you have all these bags that can't go in CP1, so you have to like switch them up. Your guy tells you you can put some in 3, and the rest have to go in the back.
Okay.
Right. He comes back with you and says, if we put everything in the back, the CG is going to be roughly 39 or 40 CG.
Okay.
What do you do?
So that's outside of it,
I
obviously?
don't know. Can you? I think it's 42. Or 45? Can you zoom in? Because I don't have it
Oh, yeah,
memorized.
yeah, sure, sure. You want me to zoom in on the CG setting on the
Yeah.
yeah,
Where's
on
the
the trim?
green? And all right, 41. So it stops at 41. So 38 or maybe even 39,
Oh,
but not
geez. But you're like
but
way
nothing.
close.
Yeah, look how close you are.
Yeah. You're in the green though, right?
See, now that is what I thought. The
Okay.
guys want it, but the guy, I'm not gonna like second guess him, and I'm not
Sure,
gonna
sure.
argue with him because it's safety related, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not an expert on what the stab does. It just moves. But yes, it's in the green, and it will reset when you take off. So it will maneuver to what the actual CG is, or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
takes, to balance out. And as long as you're in the green, you're good. So, but he refused to put any cargo in the aft cargo
Who,
bin, and
who's
then
this?
what that
The ground
the
guy or
cap
the captain?
the
Oh, okay.
captain,
Gotcha. Okay.
and then but everybody was going on a cruise, so like their bags all got left behind, like
Oh,
you
no.
know, and they had to
Yeah,
wait.
that's a
They were
tough
supposed to
one.
load. They were supposed to load on the cruise that day and everything, but at the end of the day, like I wish they wouldn't even have told us because it's like who gives a shit,
As
It's
long as
like
the numbers work out. Like when you get the numbers from dispatch and you punch them in here and you get your performance back from ACARS and it says you can go, go. Like
you know what.
you're legal, right? I mean, so that's how I would see it. But
Well,
just because you're like, well, it's an FCG, and I feel, it's like saying like I won't, I don't feel, like a Cat 3 is below my personal minimums or something, right? Like,
right.
is that kind of like that's how I feel like some of that stuff is like,
Yes, yes, it's in the green, so you're good.
yeah.
I entered. He gave me two. There was another thing I didn't tell you about our A cars because they screwed up our releases, and we
Oh,
didn't
okay.
we didn't see it. The A cars was not working, so
Oh, jeez.
we called it in to dispatch. And dispatch is like, oh yeah, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be this. He's like,
Yeah.
no, I can't do this. And I was like, oh shit. So we were working with the midgeter problems. They actually, when they gave us our dispatch, it was the wrong tail number, and we didn't catch it.
Oh, that's a big one. Yeah. Dang, that's tough though, because you're in a hurry.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's like in the morning, you're like trying to get your, you know, morning coffee and
yep,
just get there. So after that, I started really paying attention to the tail numbers and making sure the Holy Trinity matches up.
yep, that's a good idea, man. Let's see what the tail number is in this thing. Uh, it's got a C tail number, some random thing here. So, oh, it's got an MSN though. That's cool. I wonder if it's like that's the actual MSN that it's like modeled after. Eh,
Probably.
yeah, just like looking at this stuff, like these should be the engine page should show the oil quantities in the 319. These should
Well,
be green. I feel like.
yeah, it should be because the FADEC,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like the Neos where the FADECs are shut off.
Yeah, and I mean, I mean, I could try to hit these up here. No,
Yeah,
these aren't even
You're right, Bullet.
clickable.
And after that happened, the captain made me go outside and look to see if the N number was the actual N number of the plane. If they make sure there wasn't another N number at another gate somewhere.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I actually in our loft that they do this year, when they hand you the final paperwork, like you take a look at the bottom, and on the loft it's not signed, but it's kind of like a trick, because it's
Mm.
like, well, okay, we're in the sim or whatever, but they're like, they'll kind of like catch you on it and be like, oh, well, was the pink paperwork that they handed you, was it signed, or did it have the
Yeah.
right tail number on the pink paperwork, stuff like that, like. So they
it's
kind of
tough.
try to get you on that.
It's tough whenever you have a guy that's like really relaxed, but then he turns into like hardcore Nancy in the sim. He's like, no, put the headsets on.
You're
That's
like,
not the correct
oh,
ground frequency. That's not what it says for ramp.
yeah,
All right,
exactly.
so we're gonna do this for real then.
Yeah,
And I don't mind. It's just as long as you don't like bust me for it.
yeah. You got to turn it. You got to turn that on. You've got to turn that switch on in your brain. Like, okay, we're going for realism here. Instead of like
Yep.
being super relaxed. So.
Well, like this last PC I did, the warm up, the guy was like, "Oh yeah, you don't have to put the headsets on. Oh yeah, you don't have to do this. Oh yeah." He was like really relaxed. Well, the guy out that did our PC, completely different. By the
Yeah.
way, that is interesting. Look at the X's.
Yeah, can you see that? It looks funky. Huh? That's exactly what I clicked on. I was like, this, like just the fonts of the numbers, the fonts of everything looks funky, and then the X's are just wonky.
It's like it's in a bank, or
Yeah.
it's gonna look level when you get there.
Yeah. Sanitary wipes. Yep. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like I'm really at home until I break out those sanitation wipes. Like the smell lets me know that I'm home and that everything's gonna be all right.
That's gonna be okay. Yeah. No.
Do you have to turn on the ignition to get that to come up, or can you
Probably. Let's see. Yeah, there it goes.
turn on the FedEx up top to get that?
No, the FedEx don't work. I tried to click on those.
Okay.
They're not clickable. A bunch of stuff in here I feel like was not clickable. Like can't open up the oh, what was that? Whoa, weird. Oh, you can put the oxygen mask on. That's the oxygen mask. That's kind of dumb.
Your goggles. Oh my god.
But the oxygen door doesn't open up to be able to, let's see, test it.
You have a lid on your ashtray. That's my cell phone holder.
Yeah, screw that. That's not really there.
Which, by the way, the new ones don't have.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. It's so sad. Every time we fly one, we're like, oh man, we're cell phone holders, man. So that's
freaking
funny.
Bullet probably has like 7 cell phone holders in his 777.
Exactly. Yeah. That's funny. Let's see here. Okay, these work pretty good. Like the clicking is fine. Like the click spots and just the way that the clicking feels is fine. But okay, so like the fonts look kind of weird. The box has some differences, which I'm okay with because I totally understand like there's different types of boxes out there, from different manufacturers. But secondary flight plan does not work, and ACARS does not work, which sucks because the secondary flight plan is a nice little feature, if you need it, especially in the sim when you're trying to fly this thing single pilot. It would be nice to have something to work with.
Absolutely. Or if you're trying to like practice procedures or something like that.
Yeah. And actually, this thing's locking up. Oh, wait. Or do I just need to click FMGC? Hey, it's just like real life. The thing locks up on you.
It was made before cell phones existed.
Yeah.
I bet you have something I bet you have some kind of modification, Mr. Bullet.
Oh, his plane is what he's saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. Let's see how this feels.
He'll go those long-ass flights without a cell phone holder. He makes the secondary officer do it.
Oh, this isn't right. You know how you have to clear it 4 times before you put in the real number. So that's not right. Unless this is actually a different transponder than we use, so maybe this is how it works.
That one you can clear. I think it's on that one possibly twice, but yeah.
Do you have this one?
Yeah.
Oh, we do not have this model of transponder, so.
Yeah, we got that. That's in probably a majority of ours. Yeah,
interesting.
I think it's clear twice and then 2000.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, the auto, the other ones with the 3-position switch at the top. I know what you're saying. We have those as well. Oh God. I tell you what I noticed the other day taxiing out and with the the other ATC service. Damn it, VATSIM.
Mm-hmm.
I had to turn the freaking thing on.
Yeah, you have to turn this same with Pilot Edge. That's the only way that they can see you. So that's what's a little annoying. And I watch another guy who flies the Airbus too, who's think he's an American guy if I don't out him. Anyways, I won't say his name, but like he was mentioning that too. You have to turn this on for them to be able to see you, which is kind of annoying because that's not real. But so when is when Hangar Talk going to happen?
So this was kind of my idea for the stream when we do X-Plane.
Yeah.
And Bullet, I'm gonna stream on the 17th. I'm gonna do a giveaway, and then the 18th probably just start mission. I'm thinking either the 19th or the 20th. I want to do a civilian stream. So it's either gonna happen then or we're gonna do this shared cockpit thing.
Yeah.
But if you're free like the 20th or the 26th or 27th, then that's when I'm looking to do it. I'm off every Monday and Tuesday.
Cool. You talking to Bullet or you talking to me?
Both of you.
Okay. No, yeah. Definitely.
If you want to do Hangar Talk, obviously my goal for that is just kick back and just do Hangar Talk. Bullet came up with a name. I was just kind of thinking like sitting back at an old GA airport talking about old times and what's going on in the industry and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. We should bring Bullet in on some stuff. We definitely have some ideas that we've been throwing around on Discord.
Yeah, dude, Bullet has like 100 type ratings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
He's flown about every freaking Boeing that there is.
Oh yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, we need to chat more. We spend so much time in DCS doing the fun stuff, you know. But I think he's got a lot to offer, yeah, for sure, in this world. But yeah, let's see here. So yeah, that's actually interesting. So yeah, do you guys do? So what one of our new procedures too is if the captain's the flying pilot, we'll put it on ATC System 1, and if the FO is flying, we'll put on ATC System 2.
That's what we do.
Okay.
When we remember.
No, right, exactly, and if
nav, same thing with the navs. So nav 1 and ATC 1 is when the captain's flying.
Okay, that's new for us. Like, I mean, that came in last year, and I think like that was actually a change because I guess like before when we first got these installed, number 2 we didn't actually have the number 2 system working. Like it was installed, but it wasn't plugged in. So you had to leave it on 1 all the time. But then they ended up like connecting them all. So then they ended up changing that procedure. So anyways, yeah, so this is a little different for me. It's kind of a little wonky, but we'll get it figured out. So ident button does work. Oh, I noticed on the ACP here, these knobs don't come up. Nice. I can get the COM2 to come up, which is nice. But it's kind of dumb because you look at it, there's no real animation for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I understand, Bullet. Yeah, sorry, I'm not really monitoring chat here, but I totally understand that. Yeah, totally get it. Yeah. There's no animation; just the light turns on and off. Yeah, it's kind of dumb. So I don't know. I mean, if this thing flies okay, like I'm totally happy to. I'm fine with those things. Like they're just kind of aesthetic things that only maybe we would really notice, or some hardcore flight simmer guy. But these feel pretty good. So sometimes the flight factor though does get a little weird when you're clicking these things, like the click spots up on the on the FCU, and so I was getting confused about how the push and pull with them, because it's not intuitive to me that the up is the push and the down is the pull. Correct. On the flight factor.
Yes, I've done the wrong mode many times.
So this, okay, if you're like on the top part of the click spot and you click if you left click, it'll push. But if you're on the bottom part, oh, okay, see how there's like a 1 dot and then a 2 dot? The 2 dot is the pull. 1 dot's push, manage it. The 2 dot is the pull to select.
Gotcha.
So these are important in the heat of the moment, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to mess that up.
Shit.
Yeah, exactly. And this is kind of tough because you can't see the difference between the hundreds and the thousands here.
Yeah.
until you start clicking it. So I can't even tell what the settings on until I start clicking it. But the scrolling feels okay. Scrolling feels good and all that. But okay, 1 dot, 2 dot. All right. If you started. Let's see here. Oh yeah, on auto armed. I'll get rid of the.
Yeah. So the big change that's coming for us is at the pre-flight, the captain would be the quote unquote captain's pre-flight, and then the FO's pre-flight.
Mm-hmm.
That's all going away now. It's going to be pilot flying and pilot monitoring. So
Yeah.
whoever's flying that leg is going to do the ADRs, the CVR test, the fire test, fuel pumps, all that good stuff. They have like 35 things they're going to do. The PM's going to do the walk around.
Interesting. That's really
Ground to
interesting.
cockpit, plan acknowledged.
That's going to
Call
be
me through the
effective.
menu when you are ready.
Put cabin temps to full cold. Yeah, this is Vegas for sure. Oh, that's weird. So it only does each. Okay, if you look at these zone controllers,
Oh, it doesn't go
they
in the
just.
middle.
Well, it's just not a smooth spin. It goes to each tick mark. It just hard
Correct.
clicks
not
to
a-
each tick mark.
That's not how it is.
No.
Immersion broken.
No, bro. Yeah. Interesting. That's yeah, and I think that's like right. That's the way that Airbus does it. That's the way they want it. That's how Airbus, like the flying pilot, kind of does.
Yeah.
In the U.S., it's like the captain does the captain things, the FO does the FO things, and then it doesn't really affect who's flying. But
I kind of like it because
Yeah.
especially if I upgrade next year, then I'm already kind of used to doing that stuff. But yeah, it is a big change, and we have some checklist changes coming as well. It's now, instead of, I forget what we say, runway, and then the captain says the runway and the FO says the runway.
Mhm.
Now it's going to be, both of us have to say runway 10 right confirmed, and it's some other stuff. But
yeah, we had a big change last year. We had a huge revision to our, we call it Vol 2. I don't know what you guys call it, but our Vol 2 is all the
AOM
AOM. Okay, cool.
AOM Vol 2.
So yeah, there's some slight cultural differences, between us. So it's interesting to hear how you guys do stuff. So I wonder if we're going to go towards the Airbus way of doing things.
Well, they say
Or
they're
not.
building a foundation to do a QRH.
Okay.
So I don't know if you guys have one or not, but
We
that's
do.
what
We
we're
actually,
doing.
yeah, we have a QRH. Yeah.
So they're gonna try to do that and build it. So I'm gonna get the bed.
Okay, cool, man.
All Boeings have marks where the temps with the set.
Ground to cockpit,
magic marker.
tow is driving up.
I bet the captain is the one that sets it too. And if you touch it, he's gonna spank your hand.
Yeah, right. Yeah, slaps your hand.
All right, guys.
Yeah, good night, man. Yeah, thanks for hanging out for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to hopefully get some stuff going in the near future.
Definitely, man. We'll keep talking.
All right, guys.
Yeah, have a good one.
Enjoy your morning now in the East Coast.
Take care.
See ya.
See ya.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Do you have any of these sims? Do you have X-Plane or P3 or anything like that, Bullet? Like you said, I totally get how you feel like it's work and stuff like that. But actually, I'll hop in these. I'll hop in the FS labs prior to a check ride for a few hours and just run a bunch of V1 cuts and stuff like that. It just kind of helps me refresh everything, especially when I went through upgrade, was where the FS labs really came into play. Well, I used the flight factor as well to, running all the upgrade flow, the captain's flows and all that kind of stuff. It just helped me to visualize it all when you're sitting in the hotel.
And bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, let's see here.
starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Nice. Kerbal Space Program, nice. All right, yeah, good night, Bullet. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Appreciate it. We'll chat soon. Yeah, this gear handle is kind of angled strangely. Gear handle's perpendicular to the panel, whereas pretty sure in real life it's angled down just slightly, just so you can tell that it's in the down position. Yeah, thanks, Bullet. Good night. All right, get a good start on one. The behavior here with the N1 looks kind of funky on the startup. Just doesn't look quite right, but we'll get number 2 started. Did hear the barking dog in the back. The PT is working. Two starting up. Got light off. That's looking accurate. That's not too bad. It's just once the N1
Operation complete.
peaks
Status
out,
parking brake.
it stops at like
Disconnecting
16
tow. Stand by.
and then jumps to 20 and says avail, which isn't quite how it behaves. See, it sits there, it clicks at 16, and then it's still jumping, and then it says avail and jumps to 20. Yeah, interesting. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, it looks kind of funky. That looks good. Okay.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
All right, we'll see you later, John Fly. I kind of wish that these worked, that these knobs on the ACP work for int and cabin, because they're pretty important on the captain's side, because the captain's going to have these two down and these two up. He's going to wait for the call from the flight attendants on the cabin, and then he's communicating with the rampers on the intercom. So I don't know. I mean, for a little bit of realism, if I was running through flows or trying to, work through my cockpit setup and training, this would kind of help if these worked and were on. So, but at this point, once I disconnect with the ground, I would turn off. I'd leave the intercom on to be able to talk to the FO through the hot mic through the intercom. But yeah, that's interesting. Then I would click over to see if this works. Actually, okay, these don't even work either. To be able to select which one you're talking on. You can't talk on COM1, COM2. These are the only ones that work. Okay. Interesting. I don't know if they're not there quite yet. I don't know if anyone knows kind of what Tolliss's plan is. I don't want to harp on them too hard. If that's what their plan is to implement this stuff later, if it's like a newer add-on or what, but feel free to correct me there if they're working on all this stuff. Anyways, we're not flying on online with any online ATC right now. We're just kind of testing the airplane, just kind of getting a feel for everything here in the cockpit I want to see how everything feels. 21.9 or 21.1 in Vegas for ground. There we go. Cool. Oh. Can't tell. Oh, I'm like way up here in the overhead panel. I should probably get my views set up here for at least by the next stream. And at some point I clicked that off. Let's see here. Okay. There we go. I'll reset that. Let's go ahead and run the after start checklist. So at this point we would set the trim. So trim status. It's kind of slow on the scroll. So trim, it's already zeroed out for the rudder trim, and then we would check our status. Everything's normal there. All right, after start checklist, we'd run that. And we can release spark brake and get going. There we go. Oh, you know what? Forgot to shut down the APU. They would shut. If I would shut down the APU as he's finishing the engine start. We'll taxi out to spot 1. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get in the air. I'm going to kind of do some abbreviated procedures here on the way out. Won't be doing anything too accurate as far as procedures go. Obviously get the cockpit set up the way that it needs to be. But then I will go ahead and I'm going to go up. I want to test out some of the flight control laws. Question, if you flew for 3 hours GA, would that count against your duty day flying? So GA, no. But if you were flying Part 135 or I think Part 91 for hire, it would count against your duty time. So I can't remember exactly what would constitute that, but if you're flying for hire, it would count against it, but not if you're just flying for pleasure under Part 91. But our airline does allow you to fly on the side. Some airlines actually, you're not allowed to fly for hire outside of your Part 121 job. But yeah, that's a good question. But my company does allow you to do that, but you still, I don't know all the details, but you do have to abide by all of your, not just your duty requirements, but as far as your Part 117 flight times and all that kind of stuff. So, and they've changed with Part 117, so I don't know them all by heart. You have to go look at all the convoluted charts now. But I can take a look at that later. So actually, Lumber, I'm gonna invite you to the I have a Discord. It's actually the old Sendero Discord that I'm repurposing for this, and there's a study room. And if you could put that question in the channel there. Oh, sorry about that. I was just curious if you had an airplane and you flew for 3 hours, something like that, before the start of your duty day, if it would count against you. No. So let's say, for example, I lived in California and I was based in Las Vegas, and I wanted to commute to work in my own 172. So I flew up from California to Vegas in my own 172. That would not count against my duty time. That's just my own. I'm traveling on my own time to work, and I ended up flying that same day. Let's say I was starting a trip that same day. It would not count against it. Basically, it's kind of the same as your driving time to the airport, let's say, because you're basically flying on your own time. I turned all the sounds way down, but I'm hesitant to go turn them all back up because it gets so loud in here sometimes. So, but let's say, Lumber, that I had a job at Scenic on the side and I was flying the twatter on the side. That Part 135 work would count against it. Nah, no, they won't. Think about what I do. I commuting from Las Vegas to Philadelphia on a jet, and I sit up in the cockpit. Technically, I'm an additional crew member when I sit up in the cockpit, even though I don't necessarily know the procedures. I might not even be type rated on the type of airplane that I'm sitting on, right? But that does not count against my duty time. So I could fly all the way out to the East Coast. It doesn't count against it because it's on my own time. So they tried to put that in there. They tried to add commute time onto duty time, but it's really hard to regulate that because it's just very difficult for them to monitor that. And I guess they could put you on your on an honor system regarding that, but I just don't think it would work. I didn't realize you had to turn that on your own. Usually these are all just on all the ACPs, all the radio panels. Okay, let's see. I didn't do any of the FO's work. Oh, that's interesting. So you can have it. That's weird. Okay. It'll let you stop the selector in between 0 and 1 and in between 0 and 2. Okay, but then it clicks into its own spot. Torb, what's up, bud? Sendera Lumbitz. That's right, man. That's right. Thanks for the host, dude. Appreciate it, man. It's an honor. Torb's the guy who answers all my sim questions. Helps me out with all that stuff that I don't know about. Yeah, so I guess the radar actually in here does not work, which is quite the bummer. But I'll do weather and turb, but I cannot. Oh, there it goes. It's just a weird click spot there. So I'll go system 1. And I'll turn off the terrain on ND so that this works. But it doesn't look like it's actually sweeping. So you do try, and you don't try. You do. You do. I can't get this armrest out of the way, which is annoying, but we'll get it figured out here. See if I can tilt it up. Typically what we do is once we start taxiing, we'll turn on system 1 and we'll slowly tilt it up to 5 degrees and watch the sweep just to test it and see if it's working. So Iowa Scotsman, good evening. How you doing? Good to have you here. So that works. I mean, at least the knob works, but I don't know if the actual system works on the airplane. Like I said, it should be sweeping right now, and it would, once I tilted it up to 5 degrees, it would have a big red sweep to show me that at least the system was working. But it's good weather today, so we'll just leave it off. I'll leave it centered. Doing well. Yeah, doing well. Just got back from vacation today, so back home. And getting a little stream in, and I keep accidentally clicking this, so we'll put it back into place. Nice. Yeah, we got the whole gang here, man. We got Lumber and Torb. Can't ask for more than that. We got Iowa Scotsman now, so yeah, thanks for being here. All right, what else can we play with here before we take off? I just kind of want to mess with some knobs here. Like I said, pretty bummed out about this ACP here. Pretty bummed out about these knobs here. I mean, whatever. This is fine. Like, they don't have to animate. Totally fine. But none of these work. Trying to click these, they don't work. And like I said, for my flow as a captain, these are pretty important for me in communicating with the ground crew and communicating with the flight attendants before pushback. So I switched my audio a bit. So getting ready to do some testing. Cool. Nice, man. Is that with the stream or what? All right, let's see. These actually don't work either. These buttons don't work quite yet. And if anyone knows, like if I'm harping on Toliss too much, let me know. If they are working on these things, and this is kind of I don't know if it's an alpha beta state or where they stand with that. I don't pay attention to that, but I had just heard a lot of good things about the Toliss. So cool, Iowa Scotsman. I think I actually follow you on Twitch, so I'll definitely tune in for that. So whenever you stream. So let's see here. ACP is kind of funky. Everything else is pretty good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and get everything set up here for takeoff, and then we'll taxi into position and go. Yeah, I'll try to be honest about it. I mean, there's a few other gripes that I had in here. I had Det Rudder here. He's another Airbus pilot here just a few minutes ago, and we were kind of clicking around and trying to see what things look like. I'll show you a couple of the things that we noticed. One is just the fonts that are on the PFD and ND and the ECAM. They're almost right, but not quite right. These are just aesthetic kind of nitpicky things, but we definitely notice them. Okay, here I am in position. Just the way that some of this looks like the numbers here, or the fonts for the numbers here look kind of funny, as well as these up here, they look kind of blocky. You know, I mean, if this thing flies okay, I'm fine with it, and I'll totally be cool with that. But I wish I could resize these things though, because they're monstrous here. Dang it. Can I resize these things? Let's see. Doesn't look like I can. Actually, I didn't do any of my work. What an awful first officer I am. Are you running X-Plane at your monitor's native resolution? Yes, I believe so. So it's just a 1080p monitor. And if you could tell me exactly where... Oh, you know what? Well, I have it in windowed mode, so that could be an issue here. But if you could tell me where I could see what resolution I have it running in, I'm kind of a dope with this stuff, so... I would think it would be under graphics, windowed simulator, visual settings, forward to 3D cockpit. Let's see here. So yeah, I have it in windowed just because it's so nice when you're streaming to be able to pop back and forth between windows if you need to. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's fine because the flight factor in windowed mode looks totally fine. Yeah, so I think we're okay there. Yeah, like I said, the textures in here, the lighting, whatever, man. Like I can totally overlook that stuff. That's just like nice stuff to have. But whatever. And I can't resize these things. I really wish that I could, because that's just way too big. Because what I'd like to have is have this upper ECAM up here, but I mean I can just set it, because what we do here is when we blast off is I have to monitor the N1. We're going to come up to 50% and leave it there, let both engines spool up to 50% once they're both even, because a lot of times in the sim they just both spool up all at the same time, and it's fine. You know, the sim does that perfectly, but in real life, especially a lot of these old 319s, these old 319 CFM engines, what happens is they spool up at different rates, especially like at cold temperatures. You'll have like one pop up to 50, the other one's still way down here sitting there. And so that's why we do that, because what happens at the low speeds with a high thrust differential, oh man, you'll actually here in Vegas, there's a huge skid mark that goes, if you can see my mouse here, it goes all the way off this way. And actually that was my airline, where what happened was the FO just jammed the thrust levers up all the way, didn't let them spool up to 50%. One spooled up faster than the other, and they ended up skidding off the side. They didn't go off the runway. It wasn't a runway departure or anything like that, but yeah, you can still see the big skid marks on the side. So yeah, pretty interesting. Torb. Anyways, I didn't do any of the proper procedures, And actually, I don't know how to clear that cabin check. I know in the Flight Factor you have to do it in the iPad or on the tablet. If anyone knows how to clear that. I'm actually going to take... I'm fine with probably just the PFD here because, man, it's just so big. I wish I could resize these windows like in the Flight Factor and the FS Labs. It's so much nicer. But if anyone knows how to clear that, oops, cabin check, let me know. I don't think it's that, no. Uneven spool ups. Wouldn't that be, yeah, that'd be really cool. I mean, I don't have, most people, I don't know most people, but I definitely only have a throttle with one axis. I don't have a Warthog or anything like with a dual axis system. So it probably wouldn't even necessarily work for me. So, but that would be kind of interesting. Anyways, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with going like this. We'll just call takeoff no blue because we really don't know what else we're doing. But what I'll do is I'll spool it up to 50 so we can see it here. And then what I'll do, and then I'll release the brakes, and then I'll just click this off because I don't really need it. What I do want to see here is I want to see where the pitch bars are, because when I pitch up and rotate, I definitely want to pitch right into those pitch bars. I don't want to mess around. So, hi, go to plugins, Toliss Audio Visual. Okay. Audio Visual. What were we looking for again? Let's see here. Let's see. Use pop-up windows selected. Use pop-out. Oh, cool. Oh, awesome. Use pop-out. We'll use pop-out windows for pop-ups. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay. But interesting, you kind of got this little bar here. But then I can resize these now. Awesome, dude. Trenty, thank you for that. Appreciate it, man. Awesome. There we go. Cool. Kind of wonky still. Actually, that's a better size than... Yeah, that's a good size. But it does have that huge border on it, which is kind of funny. Okay. This is good for my cockpit resource management, or my single pilot resource management up here. So this is going to help. Thank you. Awesome. That'll work really well now. That'll do just fine. Sweet. So I'll leave all these up here for myself, and it probably helps because you guys can see it a little better. Nice. Awesome. Kudos. Brownie points for Trenty there. All right. You guys ready to go? I'm going to spool it up to 50. Release the brakes. What we also do is we keep the, if you can look here on the PFD, on the rollout, or once we're starting to roll for takeoff, we'll leave the stick deflected halfway forward with the nose down. And that's just to give the kind of the nose gear more effectiveness on the ground at low speeds. And then once we hit 80 knots, the 80 knot call out, we're going to slowly release that nose down pressure. And then it should be fully released by 100 knots and centered at that point. So maybe just kind of a small little known thing. There's another reason why we do that too, and I can't remember off the top of my head. I thought it was to give the nose gear more effectiveness on the ground. There's one more reason that I'd have to look up again, but yeah, just normal ops. So, all right, here we go. Spooling up to 50. Seeing how they spool up. Nose is half deflected forward, and there's an even spool up. I'm just gonna go to Toga because it's easier. Sometimes it's hard to see where we're at here. All right, we're rolling. 80 knots, check. Releasing the pressure. 100 knots, check. V1, rotate. Pause the rate. Gear up. Gear up. And pulling right up into those pitch bars real quick. And notice that that tiger's tail just jumped right up kind of in a funny way. All right, and just for ease of the sim, I'm going to pop on AP1 here. We're in toga. So far, climb out kind of feels normal. It's pretty good. And anytime you touch the gear handle, you're also touching the activating or deactivating, disarming the spoiler, sorry. All right, we're getting flashing lever climb. We're going to pull back here to the climb detent. And thrust climb, auto thrust. And so Airbus philosophy is that we always call out our FMAs. Below 18,000, we call all of our FMAs. Above 18,000, we only call our lateral changes. Yeah. All right, on our way, and flying through F speed, flap 0, speed check flap 0 after takeoff checklist. And so Torb, if you're still here, I ended up I stopped building my own tiles just because it was taking up so much time. It was fun. I kind of enjoyed it, but I ended up downloading Forkboy. And actually, I did Nevada and I did California, but I didn't do Arizona quite yet. So I think this is a part of the Arizona package that he does. So I'm kind of missing that stuff here. All right, so we do have the constraint at Roper at 7,000. We'll see how that reacts. Yeah, it should work fine. I honestly need to be focusing on I want to focus on more important things like how the plane flies and all that kind of stuff. Not as much as the aesthetic, even though I do love ortho. It's pretty amazing. So, all right, speed, all constraints, star. Here comes the level off. And that feels pretty good. Alt constraint. And this livery is so badass. I actually really dig this livery for the Toliss. Pretty neat. Alright, there goes thrust climb. Now it's continuing the climb up to 190. And obviously if they were to give us the clearance to climb and maintain flight level 190, all that were released from all those restrictions. So what we could do at that point, whenever we're released from those restrictions on the departure, we would pull for open climb. Or we're allowed to pull for open climb. So I'm just getting used to this 1.2 system here. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, that's a push. 2 dots pull, and then now we're open climb. So anyone not familiar with the Airbus, we have a kind of a managed selected system here going on. And the philosophy here is that when we push the knobs, we're letting the airplane take over. So we're managing that parameter, and if we're pulling the knob, we are taking over that parameter. So we kind of it's called manage selected. So if I select the speed, I'm pulling. If I'm managing, I'm pushing. Basically, you're either giving the plane authority or you're taking that authority from the airplane. All right, climbing out would definitely. On this climb out, especially on a super hot day, I'd be concerned about getting to Boch. Here it's showing that we'll pass Boch at 14.2. I'd be concerned about that speed up. So what I would do is if I was concerned that I wasn't going to make Boch at 13,000, I'd probably just pull speed and try to climb out at 250, 270, 280, something like that, instead of speeding all the way up to 305 or whatever it's going to. so that I could ensure that I was going to make that restriction. But when it shows it here in the box, this is really what it's going to do. Okay. And especially kind of in an open climb situation like this, it's going to be pretty dang accurate. There are times and situations and scenarios when it's not going to be accurate because it will screw you, so you can't always trust it. But we're watching it here, and you kind of want to look and see if it makes sense too. Okay, well we're less than 10 miles, we're 7 miles from Boch, or 5 miles from Boch. We're definitely going to be through 13,000 by then. So 14.2 looks like a realistic number for Boch. But let's say, they ask us to expedite the climb. They'll say, hey, expedite through 17,000. We wouldn't necessarily use this expedite button because what this would do is it's going to jam us all the way back. It's going to make us go down to green dot speed, and it's going to just speed climb us, which, comfort-wise isn't the best way to do it. So we seldom use this expedite button, but what I would just basically do is I would pull speed and then just start slowly dialing it back. So I'd dial back to 290. You can see the nose coming up, increasing vertical speed significantly. 319 can climb like a Banshee. It can climb pretty well, so. I wouldn't call it a sports car necessarily, but, compared to the 320 and 321, it'll climb a lot better, so. And so we are on our way, and I'm well through 10,000 AFE. What I would have done here is I would have turned off my lights here for 10,000 AFE, but I was chatting with you guys, so I forgot. And what I would do is ding the flight attendants, indicating that we are through sterile. Sometimes what we'll do is actually we'll hold off that sterile call, especially on a really bumpy day in Vegas, which is very often on these hot days. I'll ask the flight attendants to remain seated until I call them. And so I'll just say, hey, remain seated until I call you guys. And I'll give that to them in the brief. And we're climbing through 180. And we're going to push standard. So the call out for that is push standard past an 18.4. And then the non-flying pilot would say standard pushed altitude checks. And at this point, we're allowed to take off our headsets. Climbing through 180. So take it to 360 here. I'll keep going to open climb. So thrust climb, open climb, 360. Once again, no online ATC or anything like that. We're not messing with that today. Just wanted to see how this thing flies. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to level it. Probably go back down to like 15,000. We'll pull for open descent and just see how this thing flies a little bit. I'm going to pull up my iPad here because I have some information on here that will be interesting. And as we're descending down to 15, as we're descending through 18, what we would do is we'd pull standard, pull Q&A, or what is it? Man, I'm like getting real tired here. Yeah, pull QNH 2992 past an 18.7. QNH 299 pulled altitude checks. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I've got a little document pulled up on my iPad here, and what I want to do is test the flight control laws on the Toliss here. Basically what we're doing is we're testing. Let's take a direct level here. I just want to see how it has a direct behaves. All right, so direct level, confirm direct level, and then the flying pilot would say insert. And it's got the disco in there. Clear the disco out. Insert. There we go. Feels about right, yeah. Feels like it flies pretty good. Like I said, I haven't turned off the autopilot yet to fly it by hand, but I'm going to slow it down to 250 here. Feeling pretty good. TCAS standby, yeah, I missed that. But that's not it either. It's this thing over here. Boom, boom, boom. TARA all the way over to the right. I don't use this kind of transponder system, so we have a slightly different one. So that's not why I missed it. That's not my excuse or anything like that. But I just legitimately missed it. Yeah, so this is pretty accurate. I mean, when it's trying to slow down and go down, it's going to prioritize the speed first. It's going to try to get you slow enough to get to that speed before it starts descending. And then once it gets to that speed, it's going to stabilize out, and then it's going to start giving you the vertical speed. Because I've selected that speed, now it's prioritizing that. But the Airbus in general, most Airbuses have a difficulty slowing down and going down. It's hard to give it to do both. So you kind of want to prioritize that or plan that in your descent planning. So speed alt star, alt, leveling off at 15,000. Actually, what I'll do is, like, we do steep turns in the sim, so I'll just do a 360-degree steep turn, kind of simulate how we set up for that in the sim. And there's quite a bit of setup. I mean, it's kind of not very intuitive because we don't do these in the real airplane. And they actually implemented the steep turns since I've been on the Airbus. The FAA, for whatever weird reason, wants us to do steep turns, which we'll never do in real life. But this will kind of help us too with some of this testing that we're going to do here. But so normal law is what we're looking at. Maybe you've heard that Airbus has a different set of laws. We have normal law, which is where all of the Airbus protections are in place. And the acronym we use for that is BiPALs. There's also alternate law where you've lost some things. So you can get into that through multiple failures of redundant systems, or you can get through jet upset, which I can explain that later. But basically, if the plane's knocked out of its equal, if it's knocked out, if it does like a 125-degree bank or whatever, there's a bunch of different parameters there. If they're exceeded, then it'll go into alternate law. And then there's direct law where it has no protections. Oops, here we go. There's no protections. And then also it has finally a mechanical backup where it's like red use man pitch trim. So all you have for mechanical backup is a rudder and your physical trim wheel here. So I find I take it to vertical speed, pop the speed brakes, and dial in 1800. Okay. I always miss top of descent. Yeah. It's easy to do, man. Easy to miss top of descent. Luckily in the Airbus, it'll flash at you decelerate when you hit the top of descent if you're going past that. The issue with this is a common error I see with new Airbus guys is they'll put in vertical speed and then use the air brakes at the same time, or the speed brakes at the same time. Trying to figure out a good explanation of why that's not the best idea, but unless you really know what you're doing with the vertical speed and what that airframe is going to do with that given vertical speed, it's kind of not necessarily a good technique to do. So the better technique in using speed brakes is during an open descent or a managed descent, and I can show you guys that later. But otherwise, what can happen is it's going to try to spool up on you if you don't have the correct vertical speed in there. So is this Toliss A320 new, or did you mean A319? Oh, you know what? I totally biffed that. You're totally right. My bad. Let me go fix that. It is a 319, not a 320. Thanks, Trash Pan. I appreciate the correction there. Let's go fix that. So I don't look like a total idiot. And that was a really nice way to say it instead of being like, hey, idiot. So, should be fixed there. There we go. Cool. Awesome. No, yeah, I should be like, no, I got the advanced copy from Toliss. This is the new A320. No, definitely not. But I did hear that FS Labs has a 319X out. But hey, idiot, what's up, man? It's a 319, not a 320. Yep. That was the whole point of the stream too, was figuring this thing out. So, yeah, what's up, Purdue? Yeah, I'm just messing around, just trying to figure out how this thing flies, trying to feel it out. We're gonna do some steep turns here and see how it feels. So, Sand3658, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. I need to stream soon. I'm starting to miss it. Yeah, dude, what the heck? Now that you're out of training, you got all this. You're gonna have all this time. You're gonna be on reserve now. I wish someone would make a decent A321 for XP11. So, yeah, I mean, I guess to me, and maybe Purdue can back me up on this. You know, the cockpits are so similar on the 19, 20, and 21. To me, it's kind of like, meh, like, whatever. The 19 to 20 is not that big of a difference. You know, on a day-to-day basis, I hardly know the difference. Maybe I can tell a slight difference in the way that it lands, or, you know, especially at 321, like the tail strike mitigation, all that kind of stuff. That's definitely something to think about. But for me in the sim, it doesn't really change what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve in the sim. But yeah, I mean, for fidelity and realism and all that kind of stuff, the big difference is the CO versus the Neo. Yeah, I mean, and really, even the Neo. I mean, maybe I'll argue with you on that one a little bit, Purdue. Just that the startup process is longer. Maybe it idles a little higher. Yeah, I mean, other than that, man, I mean, it's not that different. For me, it's like, you know, we all, you know, if you're flying IAE, which I don't fly any IAE engines, the you know, so we're not using EPR versus, yeah, all my planes are N1, so yeah. Anyways, what's up, Flat Passage? What's going on, Tyler? How you doing, man? Good to have you. And I'm kind of going through my head as to how we set up these steep turns in the sim, but basically there's a certain way to disengage the auto thrust in here, and I usually say you match and mash. So what you would do here is you'd pull back the thrust levers, and you'd match the blue donut with the green line, which the green line is what is the actual thrust setting of the engine here, and then you would turn off the auto thrust, which I would do that with the instinctive disconnects here, but we'll go ahead and I'm just going to click this. Actually, let's see if the instinctive disconnects work. Negative. They do not work. Or at least I can't find the click spot for it, so. Anyways. So let's turn those off. So now I am in control of the auto thrust. Okay. Auto thrust, autopilot, auto thrust up. Engine thrust locked. Thrust locked. I don't know why it would be locked. I just disengaged it properly. And why would it keep dinging at me? Not sure. That sounds like a symbolism. Thrust levers moved. Okay. Thrust levers move. There we go. Okay. That's working. So I'll keep it down about 64 for 250 knots. 64 N1. Bug, yeah. Sounds like it. So what we're trying to say there is that that ECAM would have not been going off and dinging at you for that reason. It shouldn't have gone off at all, really. So, but all right, let's finesse this back to 250, and then we'll go ahead and turn the autopilot off. Yeah, and I've noticed the FS Labs does this as well, Fly Purdue, is that when you disengage the autopilot, the master warning continues to go off. 5 chickens. Subbed. Dude. You may be my first sub ever, by the way, so I don't know how you feel about that. Max power go. Yeah, I don't even know what to do with subs. What do you do with it? Like, what does that mean? Oh, and Fly Purdue. There we go, man. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Woo! Man. Cool. You guys can tell me later what that means. Oh, and I've got, yeah, I guess I've got those little emotes in there. I put those in there like a year ago. Sounds good, man. Now he's got, I guess that gives you access to them now that you subscribe. Yeah, I'm a dork. I don't know Twitch very well, guys, so I apologize. I get to buy a Chipotle. Go to Subway. You get to buy Chipotle. Ooh. See, look at Purdue's using his new privileges there. Okay, autopilot's been off. Thank you, guys. No, I really appreciate that. That's great. What's the cry face for? You get to buy Chipotle at Subway. Sounds good, man. Sounds like pilot places to eat. Subway's probably the quintessential pilot restaurant or, fast food place. But, yeah, carbs, I know. Yeah, exactly. Chickens knows where I'm at with the carb thing. Actually, I've been eating more carbs this week, but kind of carbing up, and then I'm going to get back at the keto thing here coming up, so... All right, so I've got the flight directors off, I've got the auto thrust off and the autopilot off, and I just kind of want to go through this and see how it feels. I'm realizing about 64% N1 gives me about 250 knots at 15,000 feet. And I'm going to go here. What I do like to do in the sim, when I'm in the sim, I usually put it into Rose VRR mode, and then I'll kind of give myself a reference with the heading bug as to when to roll out, and then I'll ask the PM to call out 10 prior for my rollout. Quiznos is not the quintessential. Actually, I don't feel like it is. I like Quiznos a little better. And by the way, the Quiznos in Denver, at the Denver airport, has the Honey Bacon Club, which no one else in the country has. 5 years ago, for whatever reason, they got rid of it. All at all their locations, and for super awesome that they ended up getting it back only in Denver. So when in Denver, get the Honey Bacon Club. So all right, so yeah, we're flying this thing by hand. I mean, and really I haven't even touched anything, so very, very stable here. Okay, I see a link in there by Purdue here. We love the subs. Quiznos subs. Nice, dude. That's awesome. Nice. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Just doing some work in here. All right. I don't remember that ad, actually. Sorry. And you pissed off 5 chickens because you're probably just making them hungry. All right. Here we go. I need to do my steep turn before I get too far off course here, but I'm going to get back down. Jacking my ideas. Okay. I like how we got off tangent there with those subs. No, but once again, thank you guys for all that. I think we're making our way out to the Salton Sea. 64 on 1 at 15,000 feet. They got a pepper bar. Speaking of tangents, you're off course. Oh, yeah, I know I'm off course. I went on a heading, so definitely. But here we go. I'm going to go into a right-hand turn, because that's the harder way to turn. All right. Pitching up to 2.5 degrees and pushing in about 2% on the power. Get back up to my altitude and keeping it about 45 degrees. Once you get past 33 degrees, it's going to want to come back to 33 degrees if I let go of the stick. I need a little bit more power to maintain the speed. Feels about right. Actually, the same pressures that I would put in on the real stick. You have to hold it kind of to the right side and down a little bit. Got to keep that nose up pressure. And to the right. Feels really good, actually. There's 10 prior, rolling out. And I'll bring it right into the left turn here. Pull the power back. Usually I just leave the power in the real sim, because it'll need it once you get back around. Once you get that left bank in here. All right, there's 45 degrees. And I think it's about like 4 degrees on the attitude. Need a little bit more power. Actually, I lost the power, so. There we go. Don't descend. Don't descend. And keep the bank in. Feels about right. Actually, this is a weird hand to do it with now because I'm used to doing it with left hand, but. I'll get my speed back. Come back around to 180. Yeah, the pressures feel about right to me. And there's 10 prior. Rolling out. Pull out that power slowly. I've tried not to climb anymore. Bring it back down to 15,000. 64 on the N1. There's 180 on the heading. And level out at 15,000. Alright, keep that power in. There we go. Cool. Alright. So what I'm going to do is get that autopilot back on. Pull for 15,000. Auto thrust back on, and then I'll put it in the climb detent. I think I did it. Yep. Cool. Run out of scenery packages. Whatever that means. Bird on. Oh, yeah. I guess that's kind of a technique, right? I don't typically use the bird for that, but I remember actually watching some people. I've seen a guy do that in the sim. But yeah, I guess it's kind of up to you, right? Yeah, exactly. So, pressure of a Logitech 3D Extreme Pro A320 side stick confirmed. Oh, okay. It equals that. Okay. I have one of those sitting in the closet, actually, so the bird is not the word. No, I mean, you can do it if you so choose, I guess, is what we're trying to say. But let me get back on course here a little bit, so I'm not too far away from San Diego. And let's take it actually. Yeah, let's take it to Lucky. Insert. All right. We weren't too far off, anyways. Oh, I thought that was what you were using now. No, I turned off the. Oh, you're making a joke. Okay. No, I turned off the flight directors for the steep turn. I think they don't like that yet. I mean, there's really no point in using it for the steep turn. So, yeah. Anyways, messing around with this. I forgot that I do have my chart up here while I was doing those. I probably could have turned it off, but I've got my little setup here. A little cheat sheet on the flight laws here. I don't know if you ever use anything there. Pete, but actually I want to see. I'm going to turn off the flight directors again and turn off the autopilot and try the bank out. See, I don't like that this thing keeps beeping at me when I turn off the autopilot. I have to cancel the master caution or the master warning. All right, let's see here. Let's give it a shot. Let's go to 67 degrees, which is indicated by the green equal sign. Pete, do you have this one, by the way, the Toliss? I thought you said you had the fly factor. I know we talked about that over dinner, but can't remember if you said that you had this one. Oh, that's interesting. I think I need to do that faster, at a faster speed, so I don't hit toggle lock. Okay, let's do that. Okay, let me fix that. Dial speed up here. It really did not like that. You don't double tap the disco? Nope. Just I think just one click. I usually click it more times and just kind of out of habit. But yeah, I think if you just click it once, it'll turn off. You don't have the Toliss. Okay. Yeah. Cool, man. Yeah. Well, I heard good things about it. Aesthetically, I'm not too impressed. And I've been saying all night, I don't know if they're still working on a lot of this stuff or they consider this, a complete deal. But some things aesthetically I'm not as excited about as I am with the accuracy of the flight factor and the FS Labs. I mean, when you're comparing these things, the FS Labs and the flight factor even are hard to compare because the FS Labs does have full failures and all that whole system set up in there already. And, that's just its own animal. But that's what I really appreciate about the FS Labs. And, if we go to a check ride, if I go into recurrent, I can go in and go run a bunch of V1 cuts prior to going in and get a lot done in there. And it's very, very productive. Whereas I feel like flight factor feels really nice. I love the X-plane. Actually, I like X-plane more than P3D. That's just my thing. But flight factor, if we're going to fly around and go fly on pilot edge and just do kind of normal operation type stuff, I think I kind of prefer it for that. But then the reason why I picked up the Toliss was for the shared cockpit thing here, which I've talked to you about, Pete. We were kind of talking about some cool ideas we had with that. They have licensed with Airbus and recently updated to 1.3.3, so it may still be updated in the future. Okay, cool. Yeah, I heard that they updated. This is 1.3.2. I haven't updated it quite yet, so I'll try to do that after the stream here, but we'll take a look at that. But anyways, I wanted to keep the speed up here, do some of the bank laws here. So going to 67, it will not bank more than 67 degrees in normal law. As you see, I increase the load factor. That tiger's tail just pops right up. That's fine. I just wanted to see if it banks more than the 67 degrees there. Yeah, Chewy was talking about CFD with Flyboy in the FF. I was wondering how. So I actually did connect with Citation Max in the flight factor, and it worked. But he had, what was the one? There was one thing we were missing, and something happened. I can't remember. It was a couple weeks ago. So we did pretty good with that smart copilot. But then I keep hearing that FlyJSim's coming out with this really good shared cockpit that everyone's waiting for, and that it's supposed to be much more seamless than smart copilot. So maybe I just need to be a little bit more patient. But in the meantime, we can test this stuff out and get it going here. So yeah, we should. I want to look into that shared cockpit stuff, man, because that's the technology I've been kind of waiting for years. Just as we talked about, Pete. We talked about, it's been 5 years, and that technology has not changed one bit. It's the same technology. Yeah, we have a new version of Smart Copilot, but the limitations are all still there, which is quite annoying to me. So I'm going to go to greater than 33 degrees and just let go of the stick and see what happens. It should just come back and sit at 33 degrees. There it is. Cool. Sitting at 33. The 717 had it built in. Yeah, man. Same with the Majestic, right? The Q400. I've heard that. I've heard fantastic things about that thing. So plugin called Smart. Yeah, Tyler. We've got that all installed here and everything. Me and you've tested all that too, but for X-Plane, it is a global plugin where per plane configs have to be made. Yeah, definitely. I think we're pretty versed on that, but there's still so many limitations with it. Where this is just what I've heard from certain people. Actually, I think John Fly had mentioned that. This is actually why I picked up the Toliss, was because he had mentioned that the Smart Copilot works better in the Toliss than it does in the Flight Factor. So I have the Flight Factor because I did some beta testing for it But then I was like, you know what? Let's see how it works in the Toliss, and then, you know. But I also want to get in the Toliss and just do some normal testing with it. So that's what we're doing tonight. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm pretty sure Purdue's aware. What was wonky about it? Yeah, it's a lot of desyncs. Like if you move a switch, certain switches they might not see what switch you moved, or switches, you know. Yeah, it's really wonky. Definitely not a pretty thing to deal with sometimes. You have to have the same exact scenery as the other person, the same airports. Like you can't have different scenery than the other person, so it has to be all, you have to go all default or have the same exact steps. So there's a lot of setup involved in it, which is quite annoying. But I mean, you know, just kind of like how we were talking about, Pete, you know, with some of the cool things we could do in here, like running a loft with two guys, you know, teach them up with some procedures and train them up to get them to be able to work together, and then give them a loft that, you know, we would do for work. I just think that that's kind of a cool, powerful tool that we could do at some point. So TSMC Banks, what's up, man? What's up? Yeah, Tyler is more versed in that. He actually writes those scripts. I guess they're called scripts. Yeah, they're scripts that you write, and then you have to drop those files into the plugins folder or whatever of your airplane. And yeah, damage. Yeah, you have to turn. Yeah, you have to have a bunch of settings all synced up and everything. So yeah. Me and Lumber got in the Baron the other day, and if I was the master, we would we would spawn in, and then my plane, you know, the plane would blow up basically because we were below ground, right? Because our elevations were off in the sim. And so if I came in and I was the slave and he was the master, we'd be 10 feet in the air, and then when we spawned in, it would drop 10 feet to the ground, and then it would break the gear. So yeah, it's kind of funny. Anyways, this is kind of fun. Yeah, I like how that bank feels pretty good. I've actually never done this. It's been a long time since I've done this sort of testing in the Flight Factor. I get a little distracted doing it on stream, but yeah. The bank feels good. What I kind of want to do, let's turn off the auto thrust again, and I'll just mash it up and see how the VMO plus 6 works. But also kind of I'll turn on the autopilot here. See if that works. So at VMO plus 6, it should start a climb to slow it down. So alt heading. All right, approaching the overspeed. Shouldn't start dinging at us now. There's the overspeed, and there's VMO plus 6, and there's the climb. Knocks the autopilot off. So let's see, high speed protections. So bank would be limited to 40 degrees. So let's try that. There. Oh yeah, look at that. So the bank's limited to 40 degrees in the high speed protection. Oh yeah, and you can see those green equal signs now expanding to 67 degrees as I get slower. Oh, that's pretty neat. I've actually never seen that in action. So that's kind of cool. Let's keep doing that. I want to look at the PFD. Once we get to VMO plus 6, it's going to pitch us up. There it goes. And then there goes the green equal signs. And it's limiting us to a bank of 40 degrees. Where are we going? Kind of on our way to San Diego somewhat, but we're doing a bunch of testing on the way for the flight control loss banks. So during stall recovery, our stall recovery techniques were about rolling the trim wheel manually. Can you trim it in the Toliss? Oh, really? We don't do that. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can roll it. What do? You roll it nose down during trim recovery, or what? That's interesting. Wow. What is that? Just to force the nose down to like override anything that the fly-by-wire helps break the stall. It was awesome. Wow. Okay. Was that during your UPRT, the upset recovery training, or was that just unloads the THS? Oh, wow. No, we didn't. I've never done anything like that. That's pretty cool. Wonder where these techniques are coming from. Like why there's varying technique amongst airlines. That's really interesting. It's actually kind of cool to share because I had Dut Rudder here. He flies for another airline that I've mentioned to you before, and we were just kind of mentioning some different procedures that we do, and they're kind of going more towards the Airbus way of doing things, where, I mean, they're big changes coming up. Also helps pitch up moment from the thrust. Yeah, no, totally. I totally see how that would make sense because, you know, when we talk about the mechanical backup in this plane, I mean, it seems like that's the quickest way to get that nose to come down and to ensure that nothing's getting in the way as far as software. I don't know. I'm kind of making that up. So in our UPRT, check this out. Go to alternate law. Okay. Full stall the airplane and then go to flight control. Okay. The elevator will pitch up to maintain 1G. Interesting. Roll in some up trim to maintain the stall. I don't think this is the whole thing. I don't think this thing will go into, well, maybe it will. Let's do it. So, okay, we are in alternate law, indicated by the amber X's on the PFD. Autopilot shut off. I just forced it into alternate law. And I want to go back and read this. 2 ADRs will get you to alternate law. Oh, yeah, 2 ADRs. That's true, yeah. And these two, right? So, we're there. That's in some way. Turn the ELACs back on. Okay. This is something I haven't really messed with, so. Oh, never mind. Sorry. Whoops, wrong one. My bad. You know, that's going to have to realign. I just totally messed that up. ADR 2 and 3. Okay. I think I just screwed us. Because that's going to have to realign in flight. Oops. All for science here, though, folks. It's all for science. Let's bring this up. So flight control, alternate law, prot loss. That's actually cool. Okay, that's good to know. I wanted to know if this thing would go into alternate law by itself. So, but I think I screwed us because this is going to be all wonked out now. But that's all right. I wasn't planning on making it to San Diego today anyways. How much gas we got? 7.3. Oh, yeah, we got plenty. Can also go over and just keep going towards turn ADR 3 on. Okay. So ADR 2 and 3. Turn ADR 3 on and go Captain 3 on the EIS. Oh, the wrong one. EIS. There we go. Yeah, you've done this stuff so recently. It's awesome. Attitude heading. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yep. Cool. Get it all back. Awesome. So this is stuff that we don't get to play with every day, so it's perfect. Okay, so let's go back. I want to see what you were talking about here. Go to alternate law. So we're in alternate law now. Something's talking to me here. I think it's the ATIS talking. I don't know why. I don't know how to turn that off. Flight control on the lower ECAM. Okay, let's see here. Full start the airplane, then go to flight control page. The elevator will pitch up to maintain 1G. Climb to 350. Okay. So we can see the stall develop. Yep, we're on our way. Yeah, I did the UPRT in our most recent recurrent, but we were in such a hurry to do it. They just snap you to all these places, and they're like, "Okay, how'd that feel?" You know, it was really, really quick. Be right back, laundry. Okay. Well, we've got to climb up to 350 anyway, so we got some time. Let's go to 350 above San Diego here. Be right back. 8 hours of sleep. Nice. Nice. All right, man. See ya, chickens. Appreciate stopping by and hanging out and the sub and all that. Teaching me what it is. All right, climbing up to 350. We're waiting for Purdue to come back from laundry. Get some water break here. See where we're at. See what it looks like on the outside. Oops, here we go. Looking pretty nice. The ortho looks decent out here, yeah. Nah, it looks really good down there. That looks pretty cool. So aesthetically on the outside, this plane looks really good. I really, really do like it. Exterior views look really good. Actually, I've been kind of wanting to look at what frames I'm getting on the inside. 45? 50-ish? No, 40. Maybe 40. 40. That's actually pretty good compared to the flight factor. I feel like the flight factor is pretty heavy on frames. But on the external views here, we're getting good 50 frames. Looking pretty good. Climb to 250 and let's get there. Alright. Enjoying the coaching session here. I want to see what this looks like. Speed alt star. Here we are. So get it into a stall, right? Maybe give me the explanation here. And then why did I go TGAS to standby again? I'm just curious for. I gotta set up the views in this airplane. No? TA alright? This is TCAS standby still. Anyways. Can you display the flight control page? Yes. There you go. Is that okay? I'll just leave it like this, just big. No. What did I just do? Something just turned off. Nav IR3 fault. Full stall the airplane. Okay. Something just happened though. Something just failed, but I will do that. Let's just see what it's trying to do here. Let me get this up. Got a ton of boxes up here. Okay, slowing it down. Roll in aft trim. Okay. It's actually, yeah, it's trimming on its own here, but I will roll it in. Okay, rolling in aft trim. So just get it to hard stall. You can override when, yeah. All right. I don't think I can click up this. Okay. That's enough. Okay. So I'm in VLS. But now it's wanting to send to VLS. And now it's just dropping out of the sky. Keep the nose up. Yeah, here it comes. Pitch back. It's kind of acting. There we go. Okay, there comes the stall. Okay, there's the stall. It's climbing 4,500 feet though. Interesting. Then controls neutral. Okay, they're neutral now. Pitch trim 4.3 up. Now trim forward nose. Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that speed come back right away. I mean, I'm doing 14,000 feet per minute, but and it just comes right back. And then recover. Just don't want to rip the wings off. Just try not to overspeed. That was the big thing. Don't overspeed in the recovery. Yeah, that was kind of weird. The elevators will try to hold 1G. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay. So when you're falling out of the sky, they go full nose up. It was, oh wow, okay, cool. Very cool, man. Yeah, we got to talk more about that. I'm curious what the training that kind of training that they put you through, so. I don't know what I lost here. I lost something as we were going into the stall. I lost the IR3 for some reason. I did turn on random faults, but I don't know why. Which is why the manual trim. Okay, yeah, the manual trim actually did help it in that situation, but that was kind of weird. But I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to probably talk to you about it in voice, and that could help. But we can do that another time. Let's go attitude heading, switch back to norm. Get it back into normal law. See, I don't know why this thing failed, but that's interesting. I'm getting to my point where I need to wind down here, but let's see here. I'll probably bring it in for a landing here. It'd be fun to just kind of dead stick it in. There we go. Engine dual failure. Alright, we're gonna have a little more fun here, messing with the Toliss. And let's see, where's San Diego? Where are we? Now I'm all turned around, I'm like, where's the airport? There it is, right there. Alright. See what we can do here. Send it green dot. We got a lot of altitude here. Toulouse. We'll get her slowed down to green dot. And start down. I think we ran through one of these in initial, but it's been a while, so I don't have the QRH in front of me to run through it, but we'll just mess around here. Let's have some fun. Turn off the iPad here for the rest of the flight. Let's get this up though. I think I get started down one here for 2.7. Just enjoying the scenery, just hearing the wind noise, no engine noise. Because they're off. Let's see if this all works. Actually, this is... Yeah, these all work, wow. Just want to see all the buttons that work in here. No rat. I know. You see, I'm trying to get the rat to come out. It should come out automatically, right? But when AC 1 and 2 are unpowered, but it's trying to force it out. But well, I guess yeah. No, it wouldn't. Yeah, you have to still force it out. But yeah, what the heck? I mean, something's happening here on the ECAM when I press it, but I don't know. But yeah, we're just saying through 11,000. This thing glides pretty well, though. Let's see if the speed brakes work. Probably. Yep. Anyways, it's kind of fun. Now, use man pitch trim. Okay. Let's toss it and see what some flaps do on the glide. Okay. Should only get spoiler 3 in emergency. Yay. I'm in trouble with click spots here. That'd be cool to actually read through this thing again. Need to read through a dual engine failure again. They run you through that in the sim, Pete, in the upgrade. Yeah, for shits and grins, yeah. Definitely be a scary day. Double flock of geese to both engines. Alright, here we go. Just trying to gauge the altitude loss here. Gauge the descent. We are dropping pretty quick. Alright. Just gonna dive for the airport now. Flight attendants remain seated. Yeah, we would have had to use the this thing. Why didn't I get to use it? Dang it. Yeah, I've done that one in real life. Had to use those. Yeah, that's what's weird. Shouldn't be working, right? Oh well. I don't know if you've ever tested all this stuff in the FS labs and Flight Factor. Be interesting to give those a shot as far as systems realism go. Oh, the FA side. Oh, on the FA side, I love the poor bastard on the 21 on F9 that gets to stare at the packs of the X-row. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It really is, man. I know it is pretty dang legit. Pretty amazing what they've done with that thing. Oh, be quiet. Yeah, that's what I was kind of mentioning earlier. It seems like for normal ops, the flight factor is just fine. I'm going to be super hot when I come in for liner here, but whatever. That's what I got. I'm going to burn up the brakes on the way in. Whoa. Terrain. There we go. Oh, it's floating. All right. What is the scenery for San Diego or the ortho? Because I'm using Fork Boys ortho. Yeah, and there was the barking dog there. You heard the PTU going. Downtown SC. This is Mr. X's, I believe. Mr. X's San Diego, I believe. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good, huh? APU's going. All the engines are dead. You have that. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then I've got the... I love how the cargo door opened. I don't know why. That's a little wonky. I don't know. And then the main cabin door is opening for some reason. I haven't touched the thing. But yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah, Mr. X is pretty good. I have the textures too, the ground textures for Mr. X. I think is what it is. Man, they're just ready to get those bags off. That's funny. Anyways, it's going to take a little more testing. Maybe I'll do a pilot edge flight with it and see how... It seems like the flying aspect of it, in normal operations, normal law, all that kind of stuff, does pretty well. Some of the protections work, kind of the basic protections. At least the ones that I feel like I can test in here are pretty good. Wasn't looking at being too thorough with it, but overall it feels pretty good on the flying side of things. But we'll have to do some more flights in it. And really, I do want to do the shared cockpit in it. That's really what the thing that's going to be. All right, man. Yeah, have a good night. Take care. Thanks for hanging out, man. This happens by default when aircraft on ground and shut down. Great stream. Thanks, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of just a mess around stream tonight. Not too serious. It's kind of an overall test of the Toliss, my first flight in it. And failed both engines. Realized that some of the failures in here don't work. But, I was actually kind of impressed that you were able to force it into alternate law and all that kind of stuff. Because I think even the Aerosoft, you weren't able to do that at that point with some of those. So, yeah, good night, guys. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll be around. I'm gonna try to stream a little more. I don't know. This is try to make it a little more regular thing. Just have to get in here and have a little bit more purpose when I do it. But yeah, having people in here hanging out and talking makes it worth it. So, appreciate it, guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you later. Bye.